being authentic, Shadur, like, hey, I believe in you.
It's good all day, fam. All right, so we'll be back again tonight. You know what time it is? All day football news. What's going on around the football universe? So I see right now some stuff on some stuff about some updated news. You got 2026 NFL draft burning questions, quarterbacks in class to know beyond Fernando Mendoza, deepest position. What's the deepest position? And then 2026 NFL draft. Steelers hire ex-Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham as new defensive coordinator. I don't really like that. Ravens hiring Bears offensive coordinator DeClain Doyle as their new offensive coordinator. Okay. That's not a bad pick. Packers signed general manager Brian Gutekunst, director of football operations, Russ Ball to multi-year extensions. Okay, little stuff. Wow, this is pretty cool. NFL salary cap projected at $301.2 million to $305.7 million per team for the 2026 season. I think that's going to be solid. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So that's actually pretty good. Let's see. NFL to discuss using review for player safety penalties missed by officials. NFL news roundup. Patriots quarterback Drake May, illness, right shoulder, sits out practice Friday. So Drake May is dealing with some stuff. The Vikings fired their general manager Kwesi Odofa-Mensah after 4 seasons. Okay, some little stuff we can talk about. I saw something else I was looking at. Let's see. Yeah, I did see some stuff that Mike Evans, he decided to dip out. I mean, well, he didn't decide to dip out. That's the wrong term. But there is some talks that Mike Evans may not return to the Bills. I mean, the Buccaneers. The Bills is another something. Some other news. Bills agreed to terms with Pete Carmichael Jr. to become new offensive coordinator. Tight end Evan Ingram hopes to remain with Broncos after challenging for a season in Denver. I forgot he was with the Broncos. Sam Darnold displaying toughness by playing through oblique injury toward Super Bowl. Oh, okay. And then Eric Oldham, 2026 NFL mock draft 1.02 rate receivers in top 5 Patriots Seahawks bolster elite defenses. And then we got the Senior Bowl. Daniel Jeremiah's top 10 standouts from week of practice in the 2026 Senior Bowl. And okay, and then we're going deep to it. So that's kind of all the news from today. I'm going to try to get to all of it. I'm going to try. Let's see. Let's see here. I would say we can first start off with I want to first start off with this. Let me see if I can find this video about Fred Warner having some news for you Justin and Herbert haters out there. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find that video. Because anytime when somebody's going to give a shout out to my boy Jay Herb, you gotta give recognition to that.
I think McDaniel already back at it was the OC of the Chargers.
I think it's another situation for him where he's like, hey, I get to go coach Justin Herbert. who's obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think that's a perfect trampoline again to try to go get another head coaching job somewhere.
What did you think of McDaniel already back at it as the OC of the Chargers?
I think it's another situation for him where he's like, hey, I get to go coach Justin Herbert, who's obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think that's a perfect trampoline again to try to try and go get another head coaching job somewhere else if he does it the right way.
There's basically an argument that Herbert is like this loved media quarterback. You really think he's that good?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the knock on him would be. The fact that he can't win in the playoffs, is that what it is? I mean,
yeah.
At the end of the day, winning in the playoffs is a team situation. It's not necessarily just about the quarterback. If you just look at an X's and O standpoint of watching the position and watching him play and the throws that he's able to make, and having played against him myself and seeing it up close and personal, like, this dude he's unreal. Like, he makes plays that a lot of quarterbacks in this league just can't make. He's like 6'6", can run, toughness, like, he has everything you want.
That's what I'll be to say. Look, man, my rants on Justin Herbert is never going to stop until he starts getting the respect that I know that he deserves, until I start witnessing it. So until I start seeing people start disrespecting Herbert, I ain't got to keep doing this. But when I see people like Fred Warner, they gonna give the respect to him, I'm gonna share it, because it's going to be more valid points to more credible people, to the facts that been stating to you guys. I mean, you got guys who has respect for him. It's only the analyst who's never played against him, or guys who never played the game in their life who likes to have these opinions about him. But Fred Warner played against Herbert, and Herbert earned his respect. He started respecting Herbert after they played, because he's like, like he said out of his own mouth, this was his words. This guy is unreal. He can make very few plays. He can make a lot of plays that very few quarterbacks in the world can make. And he also said, at the end of the day, it's, when you're talking about the playoffs, that's a team sport. That's a team thing. And I've been saying that over and over again. I'm like, you guys are knocking this guy for things that it takes a team to do. But for some reason, when it happens with Josh Allen, everybody has an excuse for Josh Allen. And I know I keep saying this, but I keep hearing this. I keep seeing it. So the more I keep seeing it, the more I keep hearing this from you guys, the more I'm going to keep attacking you, because you're probably tired of me talking about this. I'm tired of you all talking about it. So, so someone is going to have to give, and it ain't going to be me, because I know I'm right and I know you're wrong. And I've always liked Josh Allen. I've always liked him. I thought when I first started watching him play, when he first drafted, I thought he was good. But when I started seeing the media was just going out of the way to try to praise this guy, like he's just going to be this great quarterback, I didn't see it. I think he's very talented. I think he has really great skill sets. But what always turned me off by Josh Allen is how reckless he is of playing the game. And somebody that plays the game like he does, they're not going to last very long. He's not going to go deep into a career. He's not going to have I do not see Josh Allen having a 15-year, 20-year career. I don't see it. I see Lamar Jackson having a longer career than Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback. But a quarterback like Josh Allen, he's not going to last long. Cam Newton didn't last that long. Cam Newton was really great. He was dangerous for a while, and then he fell off. I think that's going to happen with Josh Allen. I just don't like his playing style. I think he's very talented. I think he's very good. Maybe he can be a Hall of Fame one day, but and not only that, he gets too much of a pass. And with that being said, I think eventually that edge is going to fall off from him. Now, somebody like Herbert, he gets no pass. He gets criticized, crucified. Herbert has a chip on his shoulder. And I honestly think Herbert is he doesn't show it like verbally or in his press conferences, but you can see it on the field and you can hear what people say. It's like a myth of how he is. He is very competitive. He is obsessive. He is hungry. Justin Herbert stays out of the limelight. He stays out of the he doesn't give you much. He doesn't give you any emotions. He's such a professional. I think the world of Justin Herbert. I think he is going to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. I truly, honestly believe that deep down inside my heart, Herbert is. I think Caleb Williams is going to be up there too. I do. I do. And hey, I'm going to keep doing those takes. I'm going to keep doing these takes, man. And, I've been saying Tom Brady was the greatest quarterback of all time since 2004. I didn't have a YouTube channel then, and I didn't have a newsletter then, and I didn't have a brand that I could build then. But now this stuff is documented. And please believe me, I'm saying this now, saying this bold take now. So this is going to boost my credibility. Justin Herbert will go down, or Caleb Williams, one of them two, or both. 1A, 1B, 2 1As. They're gonna go down. It's the greatest of all time. I'm telling you that right now. I just really believe it. And I know a lot of people don't like that. I get it. Because I still believe Tom Brady is, but I'm saying when it's all said and done, I can just sense how they play. I feel like they are going to keep getting better and they're going to keep advancing. And especially Herbert, because Herbert is in a very unique situation. Because I told you all last year about Caleb Williams' situation. And I was like, Caleb can get the right coach. You guys are going to see how dangerous this guy was. You got the right coach. You got Ben Johnson. Now look. Now everybody's on his nutsack. I've been telling you guys this for years about Justin Herbert. Now Justin Herbert got the right head coach. He has the right offensive coordinator. He's going to show you this year. And he's already been showing you already without a really great play caller. Now he has Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels even said it out of his own mouth. He hasn't even reached the surface. So that's what I'm saying. Justin Herbert is really about to become extremely dangerous because Mike McDaniel is going to be able to know how to get it out of him. Jim Harbaugh already knows how to do it. So you got them two together. And then you put the right team around him now and the play calling. You guys are going to have no other choice. You guys are going to be believers sooner or later. You guys are. You guys are. Now, what do we have? What's next on the menu? I might read some of those articles that I was talking about, but this might be, since we're already on the talk about, since we're already talking about Justin Herbert and Mike McDaniels, we should go ahead and just, I'm going to read probably. It's talking about something the Chargers must avoid this Dolphins free agent despite Mike McDaniels' ties. Let's see what they talk about in this. And this will be perfect to talk about. If they're not talking about Tyreek Hill, this will be perfect to talk about Tyreek Hill after this article, because I do want to talk about that. So, Chargers must avoid this Dolphins free agent despite Mike McDaniel ties. Not everyone needs to follow McDaniel to LA. Mike McDaniel is taking his talents away from South Beach to join the Los Angeles Chargers coaching staff. The Bulls' new offensive coordinator is bringing one of his most prominent offensive coaches with him. McDaniel and the Chargers hired Butch Berry to be the team's offensive line coach in 2026. Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. I think that might be a good hire. Butch Berry held the same role in Miami and is replacing Mike Delvin, who was fired alongside Greg Roman after the season. Berry won't be the only person with Dolphins ties who follows McDaniel to the Chargers. There is bound to be more coaches and players alike. I like that. Bring them. However, just because someone has ties to McDaniel via the Dolphins does not mean they should follow him to Los Angeles. And there is one Dolphins free agent in particular that the team must avoid. Who? Because the Dolphins had the Dolphins had players, man. They had a good team, actually. They just didn't have the quarterback. If you guys saw, towards the end of the year, the Dolphins started actually playing well. And they actually started winning some games. they beat the Bills. Didn't they dog walk the Bills? Wasn't the Dolphins that beat them, or was another team that the Bills got destroyed by who shouldn't have lost? But the Dolphins, they actually weren't bad. Like I said, it was just their quarterback play. So taken by the Dolphins in the second round of the 2021 NFL draft, Eichenberg didn't do much to elicit confidence during his tenure in Miami. Eichenberg never recorded a pass blocking grade of 50 or above on Pro Football Focus, thanks to the ample number of pressures he allowed. Taken by the Dolphins in the second round of 21. Didn't do much to elicit confidence. Oh, so they're talking about offensive linemen. Okay, well, yeah, maybe he shouldn't come. But we can't get enough offensive linemen, man. We need all the kind of offensive linemen we can get to help Herbert. We need that. We need the competition. So I mean, our offensive line was terrible. Eichenberg allowed a staggering 62 pressures in his rookie season in 2021 over his career. The guard has a pass block efficiency rating of 96.3. For comparison, Bradley Bozeman has pass block efficiency rating of 97.1 and 97.3 in his 2 seasons with the Boats. So I guess Bradley Bozeman was better stats wise. I know the Chargers are used to offensive linemen who can't protect the quarterback, but that doesn't mean the team should go out and get another. I mean, yeah, I guess that is true. This all seems too obvious, so why even bother about Eichenberg coming to LA? Well, old quotes from Barry from before the 2025 season have resurfaced and make it clear that he is a fan of the former Notre Dame guard. In May, Murray said the following when asked why the Dolphins re-signed Eichenberg. So he said that in May. He's a glue in the room, does an unbelievable job with the whole room, doing an unbelievable job with the younger players. He's a leader by nature in terms of how to do the standard of work. He can play a lot of different positions, has multiplicity, and I think that's very important. That sounds like someone who's a fan of Eichenberg, and as great of an endorsement as that is, Chargers fans know firsthand how dangerous it is if a head coach is blindly loyal to an offensive line. Yeah, that is true. That's how Bozeman remained the starting. Yeah, this is true. Sure, there is some theoretical value in Eichenberg being a backup because he is familiar with McDaniel's system, but why? Why use that roster spot on someone who has clearly struggled at every turn in the NFL? A better use of that spot will be someone younger with potential or a different dart throw that has untapped skills. I agree. I'm just kind of looking at it, I guess, from a macro perspective. I'm just thinking like the more linemen we can get in here to help Herbert, the more competition we can have, I guess, the better. But if we can't really get guys, if we can't really get the type of linemen that we want, signing linemen that like Eichenberg, I guess, won't hurt. It's not like we're going to settle for that. It's just pretty much, it's more of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like just bolstering the roster, just beefing it up, I guess you could say. You know, it's not like we think the world of this guy. It's just more about, the term that I want to use is out of my brain right now. But in so many words, it's just beefing the roster up. It's giving depth to the roster. That's what I'm trying to say. Liam Eichenberg is depth to the roster and depth to our offensive lineman. We cannot have, especially if we don't have elite all-pro type of tackles, getting Liam Eichenberg won't hurt. If we can get him for a short price, small price, it won't hurt. And who's to say maybe he comes to LA with McDaniel, he can play better, maybe. Maybe he can get that competition and outbeat Bradley Bozeman. And if he can outbeat Bradley Bozeman, that's better. At least 1% better, even though Bradley Bozeman's grades was better than his, looked like. But I think I don't think it will hurt. And I know Ortiz is not going to be like, we're signing Liam Eichenberg. That's our guy. No. If he follows McDaniel to LA, Ortiz signs him, that's not the end all be all. That's not going to happen. Okay? So, no. And McDaniel seems very real. He seems like he is just as on board, if not probably more, to advance Herbert than Harbaugh. Because the fact that McDaniel said Herbert has not even scratched the surface, I never heard Harbaugh say that. Harbaugh speaks as if Herbert was already there. He's like, Herbert's doing everything right. We don't need anything more from Herbert. We need to elevate the team to Herbert. McDaniel says we need to elevate the team on Herbert. We need to take less off Herbert, but Herbert has not scratched the surface of this elite prime that he can be at. That to me is him saying more than what Harbaugh's already saying. I didn't think anybody can say any more than what about Herbert than Harbaugh. But the fact that what Mike McDaniel says, that tells me that Mike McDaniel thinks extremely, extremely high of Herbert. And this is coming from, and it's very hard for me to say that because Harbaugh says Herbert is one of the greatest players he's ever seen play. McDaniel, he's saying Herbert hasn't even scratched the surface. I digress. So there we go. On that with that. Let's see here. What else we want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? I'm not trying to be like Cody Rose. What do you want to talk about? Former Chargers All-Pro linebacker Sean Merriman ripped the NFL, the new Pro Bowl standards, and says the league needs to make the game as meaningful. Oh, yeah, I remember I saw this. Let me see if I can pull this article up. But Sean Merriman talking about this. Since we are on the Chargers. So Chargers legend says the quiet part out loud about NFL disastrous Pro Bowl choice. Sean Merriman, lights out. For the Los Angeles Chargers, according to this article, for the Los Angeles Chargers, the season is decidedly over. The focus now lies on the remainder. Yeah, we don't need to talk weird about all that. This is what he says. The league, okay. So the league announced their final selection to the Pro Bowl on Monday, and fans are up in arms over one controversial inclusion. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, received a nod to the game. Yeah, let me read what Sean Merriman says, and then I'll talk about this. The news prompted Sean Merriman, who played 6 years with the Chargers and was nominated to 3 Pro Bowls, to air out his grievance on social media. Although he did not mention Sanders by name, it's clear what his comments were in reference to. I have a Pro Bowl helmet that I walk by almost every day. It's signed by some of the best players in the history of the NFL, legends, Hall of Famers, and real GOATs. The Pro Bowl used to be a badge of honor or respected. Things have changed. And it's not wrong. Now it's a popularity contest. Sean Merriman reveals what's wrong with the Pro Bowl in the modern era. As Merriman says, the Pro Bowl used to be a badge of honor with players, although his career was derailed as a result of injuries. The bruising linebacker had his subline first 3 years in San Diego. Sublime. Across his first 37 games in the league, he amassed 39.5 sacks. And he was a monster. 188 combined tackles and 37 quarterback hits. He was a monster on the defensive side of the ball, and he was rewarded Defensive Rookie of the Year and 3 All-Pro nods to go along with his Sean Merriman was a monster, man. It sucks what happened to him. I think he was on steroids too, though. Let me finish reading this because I want to do research. I think he was on steroids, and that's why his career kind of was like diminished, because he was lethal. And the type of start that he had to this career was so unreal. We had a pass rusher that was so unblockable, and we won a lot of games from Sean Merriman. But I to my knowledge, I think he got. I don't think it was just injuries. I think he was actually like on steroids or something. He was taking enhancement growth supplements that he wasn't supposed to be taking. I think that was the story of him. I got to go back. It was too long ago. I can't remember. Of course, it's not Sanders' fault, and he was selected, but his selection does say something significant about the state of the award. Through the 8 games he played in, Sanders posted a stat line of 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns on a 56.6 completion percentage. He threw 10 interceptions in that span, taking Cleveland to a 3-4 record. Without a doubt, this is not a Pro Bowl worthy quarterback. But how many players had to turn down the honor for it all to fall to Sanders? Sure, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and a number of other players are dealing with ailments and injuries. But is it truly not considered an honor to participate in the game anymore? Can players not be bothered to sacrifice the beginning of their offseason? The NFL must realize the damage they are doing to the brand by tribalizing the Pro Bowl in this manner. With former players beginning to speak out against it, perhaps there is change on the horizon. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree because look, man, I like Shador. I've kind of always been a fan of Shador, and I think he's like a very tough player, especially with like how he handled himself in Colorado, always getting hit, always getting sacked, and never complaining. And we know a lot of them sacks that he did take those sacks, and he did take unnecessary sacks and hits, but you gotta like his poise. But him being invited to the Pro Bowl, congratulations on him, and I'm happy for him. But I I mean, we're talking about just pure quarterback play. He doesn't deserve to go. But there are some quarterbacks who didn't want to go. So they went down the list. Shador Sanders' names pop up. What's wrong with that? I get where Sean Merriman is coming from, but also I get it from a business standpoint and from the NFL. It's Shador Sanders going to play in the Pro Bowl. People are going to watch it because Shador put butts in the seats. The NFL is a business. It's not only a sports league; it's a business also. So we have to take that in consideration. So yes, the popularity contest will go into play. I'm okay with the Pro Bowl being a popularity contest. I really am actually. What I'm not okay with is a Hall of Fame being a popularity contest. Now that's where the line needs to stop. Okay. So I do remember that when guys went to the Pro Bowl, it was a big deal. And I do remember at a time it was very competitive at a time. It's not like that anymore. And the NFL can get back to it being like that. But the NFL has kind of softened up a little bit. And I think the NFL needs to go back to it not being too soft. Now, I think it got a lot of lawsuits and a lot of players coming back and saying, et cetera, things like, you know, certain injuries or those affecting their livelihood and stuff. So I get it. But if one thing needs to be diluted is the Pro Bowl and everything of the game shouldn't be, I'm okay with the Pro Bowl being diluted. I don't think guys make it to the Hall of Fame and be looked at GOAT status by Pro Bowls. They look at All Pros, Hall of Fame, they look at Pro Pros, and where you're the best in your position in your era is what's going to determine you being a Hall of Famer. So I'm okay with it, man. Even when the Pro Bowl was competitive, I never really watched it when I was growing up. I never really watched it. It was just like it's a meaningless game. I guess for the NFL to make it meaningful is to not make it like it's some type of fun contest for guys to go to and play at, but actually, I guess put some incentives to the game, like make it more competitive, make it raise the stakes. What makes the NFL game so exciting is the stakes are so high. Teams can't really afford to lose a game, even in a long season. It's so competitive. And then when you get to the playoffs, you lose a game, you're out. And the thing about it is the playoffs, it's more harder to win a game, but also not only is it more harder to win a game, the competition is extremely high and the stakes are if you lose, you gotta wait a whole nother year or 8 months. That takes a toll. That takes a psychological toll, and that even takes an emotional stab on guys who puts their entire soul to this game. So it's like it's a one and done thing now. It's a one and done contest. So I don't really know how we can make the Pro Bowl meaningful game. It definitely will be a meaningful game like to that point, but I don't know. Maybe you can make the Pro Bowl. Maybe you could turn the Pro Bowl into something like I'm trying to think. Maybe the Super Bowl champions against the league's best players. They can play against each other. But and I guess if the Super Bowl champions beats the league's best players, they can get a draft pick. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of the stakes. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to think how you can make the Pro Bowl more exciting. And to be honest with you, after you win the Super Bowl, I don't even think you're not gonna want to play another game like that. It's a Super Bowl. I don't know. I really don't. Maybe the loser of the Super Bowl can play against the league's best. And if the loser of the Super Bowl wins, they can get the number one draft pick instead of the worst team in the league. Maybe that can be something. That would be kind of interesting, I think. I wonder what people will think about that. You got the loser of the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure they will probably want to play again. They probably wouldn't mind, especially for a number one draft pick. So the loser of the Super Bowl, let me like a week or two after the Super Bowl, the loser of the Super Bowl plays against the league's best players. If the loser of the Super Bowl wins, they get the number one draft pick. And they'll swap. The worst team will get their draft pick, and they will get the number one draft pick. That could be interesting. I guess if anybody comes across that, tell me what you think. In my opinion, I think that'd be interesting. I'm a football fan. I can watch. I'm an NFL fan. I will watch that game. I will watch that because the stakes. I think the stakes are high. I think it makes an interesting storyline. I think it makes it interesting. I think it makes the game more interesting. They're the losers of the Super Bowl, and they have an opportunity to make up their loss and see if they can beat the league's best. And I think it also can just give more credibility to the Super Bowl champions because if the Super Bowl champions beat this team and they're the losers, and if the losers of the Super Bowl beat the league's best players, that just shows how great the Super Bowl champions are. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know what the stakes will be for the league's best players. I don't know what they can do if they win, what we'll get with them. I don't know. Maybe give them more money or something. I don't know. But I think it'll be interesting on the point where what the losers of the Super Bowl. That can be the Pro Bowl, I guess. I don't know. So, but yeah, I get where Sean Memory is coming from, and yeah, I kind of agree with him, and I kind of don't. I get where he's coming from. I definitely do. But hey, man, and then the reason why I don't because I'm like more power to Shador. I'm happy for Shador. I want to see take a turn on this. Sean Merriman death. What the hell? Sean let's see. I want to see what there's an article on Los Angeles Times that talks about Sean Merriman and steroids. Let's look at that. So I think he was on steroids. Yeah, 'cause I kind of remember. It was just so long ago. This was come on, man. I don't think Los Angeles Times gonna let me read this. But okay, so this was an article back in 2006. And it says San Diego's Sean Merriman, among the NFL's most dominant defensive players, has been notified that he will be suspended for 4 games by the league for violating the steroids and related substances policy. So he was on ESPN reported Sunday. Yeah, so he was on steroids. So that was the thing, and that's what diluted his legendary trajectory path of his career of being a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest. He would have went down as one of the greatest defensive players, pass rushers, if not the greatest pass rusher who ever lived, because he was dominant. And for as soon as he got into the league, and this is why he was dominant. He was on steroids and substance policies, so it kind of was just like everybody was just like, "Yeah, you're not as great as you were advertised." Sucks for him. And then, then his career took a toll, and then gets injuries, and he was only in the NFL for a very short while. He left his mark though, steroids or not. He left his mark. Everybody knows who Sean Merriman is. He left his mark, man. He really did. I mean, I'm still a fan of him. I was a fan of him back. It was so fun watching him. The lights out, it was awesome watching him. Steroids or no steroids, but you can't say he's a Hall of Famer or one of the greatest pass rushers ever. He was on the roids, But it was fun watching it. It was exciting. Citing a source with knowledge of Merriman's suspension, the network's Chris Mortensen reported that the Pro Bowl linebacker's positive test was definitely for steroids, not one of those supplement deals. Yes, it was definitely on steroids. Yeah, that sucks. Merriman did not immediately return an email Sunday night for comment on the story. A team spokesman declined to comment on the report, saying the league would handle such requests in accordance with its collective bargaining agreement. Last year's defensive rookie of the year and a leader of a Chargers unit ranked #1 heading into Sunday's game. Merriman, 22, is named lights out for the way he's knocked out several players over the course of his career. Many people see him as a budding junior Seau. Yeah. If the Chargers were to lose him for 4 games, it could be a devastating blow to a 4-2 team with legitimate playoff aspirations. The team has already lost outside linebacker Sean Phillips. He was also a beast. The AFC sack leader to a calf injury in Sunday's 30-27 defeat at Kansas City. He expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Sean Phillips was really great. In 2005, Merriman was the 12th overall pick out of Maryland. Later in the first round, the Chargers selected Northwestern defensive end Luis Castillo. Yes, he was really good. Now with standout on their 3-man front, Castillo tested positive for steroids in college and later admitted to using them because he was concerned his elbow injury wasn't healing quickly enough. Oh, wow, I didn't know he was on steroids too. Castillo wound up writing a letter of apology to all 32 NFL teams and promised to forfeit his signing bonus if he tested positive again. So this was by Sam Farmer, honored by the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame recognition for his long and distinguished reporting in the field of pro football. I didn't know you can go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame by writing. Sam Farmer has covered the NFL for 25 seasons. A graduate of Occidental College, he's a 2-time winner of California Sports Writer of the Year and first place for beat writing by Associated Press sports editors. Nice. Interesting. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, I thought I was sharing the screen, but my bad. But anyways. Let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Oh yeah, I wanted to share this with y'all. Oh, hold on, I don't know if I can share it. Let's see. So it was another article about the Chargers having a chance. They had a chance to hire this defensive coordinator from Denver. It says Chargers missed a chance to deliver the ultimate slap to Broncos' face with defensive hire. The Chargers hired Chris O'Leary is solid, but they might have missed their prime opportunity. The Los Angeles Chargers have found the new defensive coordinator He's a solid hire, having served as the Chargers safeties coach in 2024 and worked under Jesse Manor at multiple stops. He should be able to provide some sort of continuity for a Los Angeles defense that desperately needs it. At the same time, the Los Angeles may have also missed a serious opportunity despite one of their arrivals and their new interview process. They requested he complete an interview with Denver Broncos assistant head coach and defensive pass game coordinator Jim Leonard. Leonard has been with the Broncos for 2 seasons and in 2025 helped lead one of the NFL's premier units. The Chargers had a chance, therefore, to poach an important staff member for one of their most bitter rivals. Although O'Leary is a strong hire, it must have been a difficult choice to pass that up. Jim Leonard, Leon Hard, maybe his name is Leon Hard, may have been another solid point option for Chargers defensive coordinator. With Minter gone, Los Angeles needed to focus on bringing in a defensive coordinator who could maximize the secondary in the same way their former coach did. Across 2 seasons with the Chargers, Minter landed the Chargers the 7th and 5th best passing defense, respectively. He did so with a defense that was among the lowest paid in the league. Interesting. Leon Hart has had similar success in Denver since his arrival as defensive backs coach, with a solid set of weapons, including Patrick Surtain II, Riley Moss, and Tuala Hufanga. The Broncos allowed the 7th least total passing yards in 2025, while the Broncos ran a man-heavy scheme under the defensive coordinator Vance Joseph. They ran man coverage at the 2nd highest rate in 2025. I like that man coverage. That's what we need. Like I didn't really like all that zone man was doing sometimes. Leon Hard has maximized the talent of his defense in a similar way to Minter. Digger, moreover, appears poised to keep most of their staff together for 2026, although they fired offensive coordinator Joe Lavardi, who is likely in a bid to keep Davis Webb, who has been a hothead coaching candidate for another year by offering him a promotion. Joseph, meanwhile, is still in the running for the Arizona Cardinals job, but he seems poised to return as well. The Broncos will have competition in retaining Leon Hard. The Ravens have also interviewed him, and there are still numerous openings across the league. Oh, wow, if the Ravens can get him, I'll be solid. Losing Leon Hard would not necessarily be a devastating blow for Denver, but it is certain they would like to maintain as much continuity as possible after a disappointing finish to the season. Los Angeles could have therefore delivered the ultimate slap in the face to their bitter rival if they chose to bring Leon Hard in as their defensive coordinator. Whether O'Leary was the right choice or not will only be revealed by time. I think he would be. Players spoke very highly of O'Leary. I know Tony Jefferson. He was saying, I think I heard a story that he was telling somebody that the guy is going to be a head coach one day, or a defensive coordinator one day, or something like that. I think defensive coordinator, and now he's a defensive coordinator for the Chargers. I think he said that when he left to go to was it Michigan or Notre Dame, and he did a really good job at Notre Dame. I think it was Notre Dame, and now look at him. He's back in LA as a defensive coordinator. He got promoted. So I like the Chris O'Leary hire. I do. And I think that now the Leon, I think if I'm pronouncing the guy's name right, but Leon Hard, that would have been a big time hire. That would have been a very interesting hire. To see because we know what we're going to get out of Leon Hard. We know that Leon Hard was going to be good for this defense. And I like the fact that he was more involved with man coverage. He had his defense more involved with man coverage in the zones that Minter always did, but if Chris O'Leary, he was a safeties coach for the Chargers, I think he can do a good job too. It's gonna be hard to see what he can do. Like players like him, players like the hire, they rally around him, so he probably can do a better job than Minter. We'll see. I don't know what defense it was running over there at Notre Dame, if it was Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame was really good this past year. The defense is really good. So, hey. See. Oh, so I read this article or this caption. It says we can talk about Anthony Richardson. It says Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is a name to watch for the Vikings as they look to add to the quarterback room this offseason. Jason Harmon said this. In November of 2024, the Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell embraced Richardson post-game and told him that he believed in him. hey, do me a favor and remember something. You're a bad dude and you're going to play a long time in this league. All right. Go to work every day. Good things will happen for you. I still believe in you, O'Connell said. So Richardson, 23, could get a fresh start with O'Connell in Minnesota. That'll be interesting. But at the same time, it's not like Anthony Richardson, he lacks good coaching. I mean, bro, you have Shane Steichen. If Shane Steichen can't get through you, who can? I mean, I don't think Kevin O'Connell is all that better than Shane Steichen. Now you do got Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to. You got my boy Jordan Addison, USC great, throw the ball to. And then you got the other receiver. Then you got Aaron Jones. It'll be interesting. It'll be on people's radar. People will take a look at it. Anthony Richardson with O'Connell in Minnesota. Because not only do you got a great play caller, a great offensive coach, quarterback whisperer, but you also got the best of the best of the best players who could be a best friend to any quarterback that has ever lived, and that's Justin freaking Jefferson. So, with that being said, if Anthony Richardson were to go to Minnesota, it would be interesting to see if Justin Jefferson could get him going, I guess you could say, get him right, Anthony Richardson. Couldn't do it for JJ McCarthy, though. It's obvious JJ McCarthy ain't it. And I always knew that. It was obvious JJ McCarthy was never it. He didn't do anything in college. So Anthony Richardson hasn't done anything in college either. But Anthony Richardson is physically more gifted than JJ McCarthy. So, but again, he had Shane Steichen. But here's the thing. Not only does he have a great offensive play caller, a great head coach, he's a quarterback whisperer like Shane Steichen and Kevin O'Connell. Like I saying, maybe Justin Jefferson can get that out of him. So if the Vikings can pull it off, if it happens, I think it'll be very interesting. I would like to see it. I would like to see it. Let's see. Let's see if that happens. I think it's just rumors right now, but that's something to keep our eye out on all day film to look out for. So let's see what happens with that. Which NFL team made the best head coaching hire? Oh yeah, this was something that I saw. I wanted to talk about this. So it was saying, I forget who the runners up were. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys real quick. Let's see here. This is from NFL, a page called Heisman's. And oh snap, I gotta log in. Do I gotta log in to do this? I don't really like logging in sometimes. Yeah, right. He's the best player in the NFL league, in the National Football League. I mean, he's up there. But oh my gosh, come on, man. Yeah, hold on. Let's make him sign in. All right, whatever. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this article. All right, I found the article. So forget that Facebook post. All right, so let's see. So ranking NFL, bro. All these damn ads, bro. Ranking NFL head coach hires 2026 Giants tops with John Harbaugh, Bill Belichick, and Joe Brady. Browns with on Todd Monken. So the NFL will have 10 teams, 31% of the league, entering the 2026 regular season with new head coaches. A few of the hires involve coaches switching teams for 2025, while others bring back men who took a year off from top jobs. As usual, some rising hotshot coordinators are getting their first opportunities. With 8 of the hires completed and 2 more to go, Cardinals and Raiders, here's a ranking of how the teams fared in trying to land the best candidates. Ranking the NFL head coaches in 2026. Number 1, they said John Harbaugh. Harbaugh being let go by the Ravens was a late shocker following an injury-riddled season in Baltimore, with the team failing just short of winning in the AFC North and returning to the playoffs. He immediately became the most sought-after head coach by every team in need, with New York getting an early start after firing Brian Daboll in the middle of the season. Harbaugh won right away with the Ravens and continued to win for most of his tenure, including a Super Bowl victory against his brother Jim. The Giants have been longing for that savvy and stability since Tom Coughlin led them to 2 championships. Harbaugh brings that kind of excitement back to Big Blue, adding to the promise of second-year first-round quarterback Jackson Dart. And then Kevin Stefanski to Atlanta. Let's see. Stefanski goes from facing Harbaugh twice in the AFC North with the Browns to a different relative weak division in the AFC South. They already showed improvement in the transition from Arthur Smith to Raheem Morris, thanks in part to Zach Robinson's inspired by the rival Buccaneers running the offense. Stefanski has the right tools to motivate and scheme the underachieving Falcons, potentially turning them from an 89 team to an outright division contenders. And then Jesse Minter. You guys know I'm not that big on this hire, but I wish the best for him. But I just don't know if Jesse Minter will be a great head coach. And then Mike McCarthy. I actually kind of like this hire. I know Mike McCarthy is a little older, but I thought that was a pretty good hire. And then you got Joe Brady. I really like this hire. Man, he's only a year older than me. That's crazy. I'm 35. I'll be 36 in May. So Brady is the biggest boomer bust hire in this class. The Bills promoted their offensive coordinator, trying to keep continuity for Josh Allen. It's clear Brady and general manager Brandon Beane won this power struggle versus John McDermott in the fallout over the latest playoff disappointment. It is still surprising Buffalo didn't go outside the building to try to better contend for the AFC Championship. Brady's youth and relative inexperience is a concern and may outweigh trying to scheme the team to greater heights. I like that hire. And then Robert Saleh, not a huge fan of that hire. Jeff Haley, I don't know what to think of that. I mean, I actually think this will be all right because I've heard good things about Jeff Haley. I've heard good things about him. And Todd Monken, it's not a bad hire either. Todd Monken. My best hire is Joe Brady, to be honest with you. I think that's the best hire. I like Joe Brady. I like Joe Brady with the Bills. I've always thought he was a really good coach. I liked him as offensive coordinator. So that's mine. You guys let me know what y'all think in the comments. Yeah. Let's see here. So it was a video. Speaking of that, you can end it on this. Oh no, actually we'll end it on me talking about Tyreek Hill and then but we'll talk about this. We're almost about to get off here in a second. But Todd Monken on when he said to Shador Sanders, that was kind of funny. Let's see. See if I can find it.
One going in at. Oh yeah.
Hello, man.
How you doing? Welcome back to the station, Coach.
How we doing, man? Good. Them trying to draft your ass last year. for God's sake. It's all worked out.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah,
Huh?
that's what I was about to tell you.
Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Sit down.
Just going to get the. I don't know what the freaking. It was like the audio was messing up, but yeah, Tom Muckin was talking to Shador, saying it's been around with him. We were saying we was trying to draft here. ASS. Talking about when he was the Ravens, and it was like, sit down, we'll talk about it. But I like it because it shows a coach who's obviously very ecstatic about Shador. So I think him and Shador can fit well with each other. So anytime when a head coach and a quarterback, they have that great relationship, that's where it starts. Them having that great relationship. So it looks like, he's really big on them, and Shador likes him too. So it'll be good for them both. And he's a good offensive mind. He's a great offensive mind. So I like it. Let's see here. If there's anything else that I can find on that. But you know what? I'll let that go. I'll let that be. I'll let that rest. Let's talk about let's finish this out talking about Tyreek Hill. So I saw on one of the Chargers podcasts, I'm not going to name it, but they were saying that. Well, I didn't even watch it. I was watching the comments. A lot of fans don't like Tyreek Hill coming to the Chargers. If that's the case, it's a rumor. Why not? I don't get that. A lot of people have this negative view on Hill. Why? When he was in his prime, the last season that he had, I think it was like 2-3 years ago, he was looked at as one of the best receivers to ever play this game. That's how dominant he was. And that was with Tua. And that was with Tua in his limited little arms, little fingers, little hands, little legs, little body, giving the ball to Hill and Hill making something out of that. And then given the fact that what Hill did when he was in Kansas City, how dangerous he made that offense. Hill is a weapon. He knows his value and he knows what he is capable of and what he can do on an offense. Have any of you who are knocking Hill done what Hill has done in the football field at all? So I don't want to hear what you may think about his character or how he is. When you're that dominant and you're that elite, there's a lot that comes with that. Yeah, you're going to be a little bit narcissistic. You're going to be crazy, whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. Tyreek Hill gives results and he gets stuff done on the field. And I want to see him with a quarterback like Justin Herbert. We saw what he did with Mahomes, and I think Herbert is a better quarterback than Mahomes. So we saw what Hill did with Mahomes under Andy Reid. It's going to be almost the same exact result with him, with Herbert, under Mike McDaniel. If it's a one-year rental, I don't know. I don't care. I think Hill still got it, and I think the Chargers should bring him in. He will. Could you imagine what he will be able to do? Can you imagine how dangerous and lethal this offense will be with Ladd, Tyreek Hill, Quentin Johnson, if we decide to keep him, Trey, then we got KLS, who's also a burner, who he can learn from with Hill. And then we got Marion. I don't want to hear anything from you Charger fans. The Chargers need to bring in Hill. We need to do that. And I want to see that happen. And I think it's going to happen. I don't think Hill is all that bad of a person that people try to make him. Yeah, he has done some questionable things off the field, whatever. He has his own personal issues with life. Who hasn't? All of you guys knocking Tyreek Hill for whatever he's doing off the field, you guys are acting like you're saints. you're like. Let's see what you do behind closed doors. Okay, Hill is a very famous person. He's a famous wide receiver. He is one of the fastest people on planet Earth. He is one of the best receivers to ever play this game. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he was already looked as that when he was in his prime. There was talk about him being one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. They were putting him almost on the same level as Randy Moss. That's how dominant he was. Tyreek Hill. So I don't want to hear what any of you ridiculous fans who think you're saints talking about. You don't want Hill coming to the Chargers because you don't want his characteristic issues toxing at the locker room. You're not a football player. You're not a coach. You're not a GM. Most of you probably never even played the game. So I don't even think you even know what competition even means. Okay, so just be quiet. I want to see the Chargers get him, and the Chargers should go after him. Justin Herbert deserves a wide receiver, reliable wide receiver like Tyreek Hill. He deserves that. Justin Herbert has never gotten it. And no, the guys that we have in our locker room are not guys that Herbert can rely on. We had the opportunity. They had 3 years to show that Herbert can rely on them, and they don't show up. Ladd, he did great his rookie year, and people are saying he fell off because Keenan Allen took more from him. I don't care. I don't want to hear the excuses. Ladd didn't show up this year, wherever the reason may be. If Ladd was who Ladd is, if he was a true number one, Keenan, a 30-plus-year-old Keenan Allen would not take that away. So evidently, Ladd wasn't where he needed to be for Keenan Allen to not take that away from him. If Ladd McConkey was Malik Neighbors, you think Keenan Allen would have been able to take away from Malik Neighbors? Hell no. Ladd is not. We can't blame that on Keenan Allen. Ladd wasn't where he needed to be. Okay, so no, Ladd ain't it. He's great. He's good. He's a good receiver, but he's not a true number one. Okay, and do you think that would have happened with Jamar Chase in his second year when he was in his league, or Justin Jefferson, or none of that would have happened? Keenan Allen would not take anything away from them. We probably would not even went after Keenan Allen. There was a reason why we went after him. Okay, so let's not come up with excuses of why Ladd didn't show up. Okay, if they felt like Ladd was there, they would have schemed some stuff up for him to be open. Okay, now I get it. We had Greg Roman. Greg Roman was horrific, horrendous. I get it, but the point I'm making is that I'm seeing people saying that we're fine with our receiver room. No, I'm trying not to curse. No, we're not. Okay, we're not fine with our receiving room. That's the problem that's the problem. We keep getting Justin Herbert where he's at. We need to rely lesser on Justin Herbert. Okay, we need to give Justin Herbert deserves a wide receiver like Tyreek Hill. And if we can get Hill into the LA locker room, then we need to do it. All that other bullcrap you guys are talking about is you just sound soft. You sound stupid. Okay. I honestly don't care about what's going on in off field with Hill. Okay. I honestly don't care. I care about results, and I care about bringing rings to this team. We never sniffed a Super Bowl in like nearly 30 years. Okay. We're not. Who are we to say we don't want a receiver like Tyreek Hill? Who the hell are we to say that? Okay. So screw what you're talking about. I can't even think of a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl or been to a Super Bowl outside the Chiefs that has won it without an elite wide receiver. We need one. Okay. And so if Mike McDaniel feels like he can bring Hill back and Hill can do his thing, what he did prior to him getting hurt last year with the quarterback like Justin Herbert, I want to see that, man. Justin Herbert can probably end up throwing for 50+ touchdowns this upcoming season. It could be like the Randy Moss and Tom Brady, all modern day, what put together. What happened in 2000 and I forgot what year it was, but it can be something like that. That's what I think where it can end up becoming. Okay, so just shut up about that. I just heard rumors about this, so I would like to see this happen. I saw the Chargers podcast talking about if the Chargers will ever go after Hill. Hill has made comments about him coming to LA in the past, and I think Hill thinks highly of Justin Herbert. I do. So, and if anybody can get Tyreek Hill together, keep Tyreek Hill in check, it can be Jim Harbaugh. And then he respects Mike McDaniel. So you got Mike McDaniel, you got Jim Harbaugh, you know, Justin Herbert, you'll keep him in check. He will be fine. I think he will do great. I think he'll be really great in LA. And then he got hurt. And, you know, I think probably him getting hurt probably humbled him a little bit. And I know he just wants to win, man. He just wants to win and get paid. That's all he'll want. That's all what he'll wants. He wants to win and get paid. And I don't think the Chargers will have any problem if he can show what he can do. If he can still show that he got it. Probably they have no problem giving him one more big paycheck. Probably, maybe. I don't know. But I think he still got it, man. I don't think he was bad last year. He got hurt early last year, and he was playing with freaking Tua. I saw what he did with Tua. He had his best year with Tua. I can only imagine what he can do with Herbert. Okay? So that's all I got. That's all I got. So I told you guys all before, I made a video. I was saying I'm going to keep you all updated with Tyreek Hill. Let's see. So we're going to see, man. Let me see. Let me see if I can find that video. I don't know where that video's at. But it was talking about, let me see. Where's that video at? Told you I was going to keep y'all updated. Because this is when Hill actually got hurt. And I didn't. Yeah, this video right here. If y'all want to watch it, go back and check this video out. No, this was Tyreek Hill got hurt. So, you know, this video, you check it out.
What's up, all day fam? So keeping y'all all updated on the Tyreek Hill day. So the Dolphins are expected to release all-pro wide receiver Tyreek Hill after the season. So that's alert right there.
Yeah. So that video is on library. It's in my video catalog if you want to check that out on my channel. So yeah, that was when Tyreek Hill got hurt. And so I went on and made a video, I think like the next day, talked about Tyreek Hill. But yeah, I told you all I was going to keep you all updated with it. And that's what we're doing right now. So I don't think they released them yet, but they should. They will soon. I think they already put up reports that they will release him. And I believe as soon as they release him, the Chargers more than likely going to go after him, as they should. Like Ortiz said, we're going to bring in people that we believe are competitive and who are football players, and who's going to make this team better. And that's what the Chargers are obsessed with, and that's what the Chargers should keep on doing. So they definitely shouldn't listen to fans who just don't know football. All right, so we're going to leave it at that. And if you guys want more, if you all want more, you know where to find me. You know what to do. You know where to go. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And that's it for tonight. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care.